Hello, happy Epiphany. Epiphany was the 6th of January when the three wise men were meant to have arrived at the stable, and it's a time of revelations. I've had a couple of revelations, a couple of very weird little stories I'm going to tell you. First of all, the revelation today was I went out to Sainsbury's for some shopping, bought myself a cup of coffee in a supermarket to take to my favourite place, sit in the car park with the trees and drink coffee and what have you. Only to find when I got there I'd put it in my handbag and I'd forgotten there was a little hole in the top for the straw, and I spilt the whole cup of latte in my lovely Italian handbag. The handbag was full of coffee. I won't go into what got destroyed, almost everything, but I was very calm about it actually. I thought, well, what could you do? So I'm here, I went back, had a lie down, and now I'm going to tell you these two little stories because they are very strange indeed. It's taken me quite a time to work the second one out. You might be able to help me. The first one was, do you remember a film called 7 Years in Tibet? Brad Pitt, when he spent 7 years in a Tibetan monastery, well, not in a monastery, in the surrounding areas and stuff, and he meets the little Dalai Lama, who's about 7 at the time. It's supposed to be based on a true story actually, and he's about 7 years and he sits on a dais. He's a dear little chap, he really is, and the whole story is about Brad Pitt spending time, in that environment. And I love it. I love Buddhism. I love the Tibetans. They're beautiful people, and I love the background about them. So I often think about it. And I found recently, I don't know whether you found it, because your minds aren't empty like mine. I spend so much time on my own that I think I'm creating these fantasies, these people in my life, just to occupy my mind, and they come to me quite frequently, so they're real. Yes, I hope I'm keeping my sanity, but this was very odd. It happened yesterday, or day before, and I was feeling a bit down, and I suddenly thought of this little chap. He was a really sweet little Tibetan sitting on his dais, and his golden robes, gold and red, aren't they? And I suddenly saw him sitting there, and it was instantaneous. This is why I called the video The Power of Thought. It was instantaneous. I had a healing from Buddha. Now, I didn't see him, I didn't know him, but I knew it was my whole body went into a kind of a shiver like you do, I thought, wow, I've just tuned in to that little chap who obviously must be the genuine Dalai Lama, who's now alive in India apparently, and he sent me this powerful healing. I still can't believe it. I mean, I just thought, it's the simple thought of this little chap, nothing spectacular, not the Buddha himself, not just him sitting there, and I thought, well, I'm obviously in tune, I was in tune, and the thought went out, and he picks it. I don't know how it works, but I know I did have this wonderful healing from him. It was quite amazing. So I remember somebody saying, I forget who it was, that if you think of God, it means that God's thinking of you. Now I thought, who was doing the thinking? Was it me sending out this thought thinking of him? Quite innocently, just a thought. I didn't send out a thought for healing or for anything else, and it was just thought about him sitting there. It's a lovely film. It really, this photography is fantastic of Tibet. It really is fantastic. Got the DVD. Or was it that Buddha was thinking of me? We don't know how these things work, do we? But I know there's no such thing as, it's an exchange, isn't it, all the time? But it was really lovely, and I thought, gosh, thanks. I'll try that again. I don't suppose it would work a second time though, because I was sort of just sitting on my dressing table thinking, and this picture came into my mind, and then suddenly, wow, what a wonderful healing. And then the second one was yesterday. I think I've worked it out, but it was a bit overwhelming. I was watching the internet. There's a thing called crystal waves. I'll try and put a link on for you, where the people put a crystal on the screen, and it's got special properties and tell you what it does and all that. I love crystals, and this one I think is called Larimar. It's a blue crystal. I was just overwhelmed with the colour of it. It was just fantastic, and I thought about this, and I thought, I was tuning into it, and it's supposed to be very good. No, that's right, I looked up in my crystal book oh, I forget who's written it. One of my crystal books looked at what it meant, and it is apparently for healing relationships, the heart chakra, and so forth. It's a whole list of things, and so I felt kind of I'll think about this, and I did feel a dead genuine. There was a definite connection with my heart chakra. Well, actually, went into my foot. Reflexology, I expect you know about that. Reflexology, I knew exactly where it was. I thought that's my heart chakra. So it was quite a powerful connection. I'd only been watching it for 10 minutes. Very powerful connection of some sort of relationship. Now I'm not in a relationship. I haven't had one for some time. Not relationship. I know anybody really. I thought, could it be my daughter? I thought, no, this was a releasing of something quite challenging really. Although that's another story. But it was instantaneous that I just knew that it was something happening with my heart chakra, some sort of releasing. So I went to bed for a lie down, and I often do to sort of process it, and I could see this. It was quite a large black blob up there somewhere. I thought, gosh, that was a dark master. I mean, it was very powerful. It wasn't a little thing, a little being. It was somebody very, very powerful. Just suddenly appeared. I thought, wow, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite as powerful. Not just like that. I thought, wow, that's worrying. I didn't think he'd come to hurt me. I don't think it was that kind of connection. And I worked out afterwards that this entity had picked up the note. It's called a note, a connection. He'd picked up this note that I'd sent out from my heart chakra, and he'd come to see me. I must have had a relationship with him, I guess. And I just thought, and I thought, oh my goodness me, that was some connection. I still haven't worked it out, because relationships are supposed to be love, aren't they? But on the other side, and obviously I'd been on the other side, I'd known this entity very well, got a very powerful connection, and yet where was there love in it or not? I don't know. I haven't yet worked that out, but there was obviously a connection, and it was really, really very, very powerful. And I didn't know what to do, because I thought, well, what do I do? But I didn't feel he'd come to hurt me. I think he'd come because he felt I'd called. So I had to work really hard on this, think, well, how do I get rid of him? What do I do? And I thought, well, actually, it is the releasing. There was obviously something very powerful, connection between us, that I had released with watching this crystal. So it's kind of, I don't know. I don't think it was actually a connection to break per se. I think it was a connection of the pain in my heart, the difficult relationship, whatever it was, that was being released. So there might be a third one, but these were two very, very strange instances that proves the power of thought. I mean, I tend to not. I'm a bit naughty, really. I considering how spiritual I'm supposed to be and how much light I'm supposed to have and all that, I'm very lax in doing protections and meditation. I don't even like meditation very much. I just sit there, I think, what a waste of time. I don't know. I think because I've mentioned this before, I think it's just a rerun for me. It's what they call a backward progression. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, even got the ascension. But because of this huge mistake that I made, and it could have been with this man, it obviously was the other side. I think I have spent time there, which I don't fully understand. But I think I've had to come back and start all over again. So this is why I think all my life I've been very confused. I think, well, I know all this stuff, and why am I have to do it all again? But it's already in there. It's at a different level, you see. I'm having to start again and face all these demons, face all these mistakes I've made. And well, it's kind of a karma, but it's almost like it's a reworking, a refinding of things. So this was something else that was very, very deep that I cleared, with just the power of this thought. I didn't realise I had such a power of thought. I don't think we do realise our own strength, do we? Well, I do. I mean, I think I sit here quietly on my own, I think, but you see, you don't know how you appear to other people. I said this last time, didn't I? You don't know how you appear, you don't know what qualities or what light you've got, because you're in it, so you don't see. But this, I thought, my goodness, and it shook me actually in a way, because I suddenly realised, my God, I've got to watch what I think. I'm not too bad, but it's, well, watch what you speak as well. I mean, it's the power that we're dealing with nowadays, and we've just had a huge shift of energy again. I read a bit out to you last time from my Peter. Master Peter, we are entering new virgin territory. With the earth is shifting into a new earth, and we are going places we haven't been before. But the power that we take with us, we've got to be very careful. And I'm very naughty, I'm very self-deprecating. I do get mad at myself about things. I do get very, and I got to stop it. Because I'm thinking maybe this is my blockage. Maybe I'm always putting myself down over things, little things, not big stuff necessarily, little things like I spilled something like today with the cup of coffee in my handbag. You silly woman. So I must stop saying those sort of things, because it's obviously very powerful, and those thoughts are going out. And if you have your ascension consciousness, which I have, your consciousness is joined in with everybody. So what I think is everybody else is picking up. That's a big sort of responsibility, isn't it? It's a big responsibility. The power is your thought. I mean, not just big things. When we don't want to hurt people or do things like that, but little things. And I don't lie. I know that. I check myself quite frequently on lots of things, but it's a little things, and towards ourselves, impatience, and I panic. I do panic. I was awake all night last night. I don't know about you, but insomnia is getting really, really bad. And I've worked out what that is. It's this new energy. It's consciousness. It affects our consciousness. So it's all this. It's bringing out all this stuff that, and it happens at night. It seems to me that happens at night. The Buddhists have a kind of the technique of making you stay awake all night, so that all this subconscious stuff surfaces, and mine does. I go through hell at night. I'm almost screaming with frustration, because I need a small bungalow. Where can you go at night when you're awake all night on your own? I don't like reading particularly. I put the internet on, I have cups of tea, and I get through it somehow, I think. But about 7 o'clock in the morning, I feel it shifts. I think, right, that's it, that's over with now, that's the test, that's the whatever. I can go back to bed and go to sleep, which I do. I go back to bed about 7 o'clock and sleep till about 10 or 11, and of course the day's gone. But this is obviously my technique, and maybe I'm doing night shift, I don't know. But I do know that at night time, my thoughts against myself and things that I wish I didn't think about are often worse. And so that I think it's a time of purging, a time of cleansing. I don't know if anyone's got any ideas. So this morning I was actually worn out. I thought I went back to bed till about 11 o'clock, I think, and I thought the sun was out. Oh, the sun. We haven't seen it for absolutely ages. I have to go. Getting carried away again. So the sun was out. I thought I'm going to have to get my little car and drive out to Sainsbury's. It's bloody cold, really, really cold. And then this cup of coffee, I thought, everything that happens, everything that happens is linked. I've suddenly realised there's a link to everything. I mean, when I had this upset with this entity, I didn't know what to do, and I switched on the internet. I said, I want a message. And there was a message. Michael was saying, let go of this relationship. And it was like, so it's always just come on there just for me. And that what he was saying was so profound. Then I went into my other room and I sat at my table and I said, who can help me with this to find out what's happening? And I got a lovely picture of an owl, and it fell over. I thought, oh yes, the owl, it can see insights. It's one of my special... Sorry. Can you imagine what my mind is like at night? Oh Lord, oh Lord. Anyway, I'm going to have to go now, darlings. I hope you've enjoyed. There were 2 little stories. And remember, thought is and it's not just creative in a positive way. I mean, every little thing we think comes back to us, and it goes out, and oh. So there we are. I hope you had a good epiphany, and maybe my little stories will trigger off another one. God bless for now then. Bye.